Hello everyone, this is Ramya. Welcome to the video tutorial of C++. In this tutorial, we would learn about access control and inheritance. We all know there are three types of access specifier: public, private, and protected. We would be discussing them with the example. Suppose we have a class A, class B, and a class C. Okay, class B inherits class A, that is class B is the derived class A is the base class, and let class C be any outside class. Okay, now let us talk about the public elements of class A, the public members of class A. Class A has two public members, void display and integer y. It has a variable y and a function display. These both are the public members of class A. Now, a public member of a class is accessed by the class itself, a class which inherits it, and a class which is outside. That is, the public member of any class is accessible everywhere. So, it should be same class, derived class, and outside class. Okay, now let us see the protected members of class A. Class A has two protected members. Okay, it has a member variable, and it has a member function void tell. These both are the protected members. A protected members of any class is accessed by either the class that inherits, that is either by the derived class or by the friend function. So in this case, only B can access the integer z and void tell function. C cannot access it, and it is accessible within the class. The protected members of a class is accessed within a class by the derived class. See, z is protected, so it can be accessed, and tail is protected, so it can be accessed, but it cannot be accessed by class C. The protected members of any class cannot be accessed by any outside class. The protected members can be accessed only by the derived class. That means B can inherit the public and protected members of class A, and C can inherit only the public members of class A. Now let's talk about the integer x without any access specifier. There is an integer x without any access specifier. That is, if we do not specify any specifier, that means by default it is private. So the private members of any class is accessed only by the class itself. That is, x can be accessed only by A. This x cannot be accessed by B. X is not accessible from B, neither it is accessible from C. So from this we can conclude that if all the public members of a class are there, then everyone can access it. Okay, the derived class can access only the protected members. Okay, and the private members can be accessed by only class A. C can access only public, A can access all, and B can access public and protected. Okay, so we should be sure while using access specifiers. We should use proper access specifier when creating members of a class. Okay, in case of inheritance, suppose here B is inheriting A. In case of inheritance, the derived class can access all the non-private members of base class. Okay, the derived class B can accept all the non-private members. What are the non-private members? X is a private member, to accept X, it can access protected and public members. Okay, the derived class can access all the non-private members of base class, except there is a except condition. Except what? The constructor of the base class cannot be accessed, the destructor of the base class cannot be accessed if there are some overloaded operators in the base class that cannot be accessed by the derived class, and the friend function of the base class cannot be accessed. Okay, that means whenever a class inherits a class, that means when suppose B is inheriting A, so B can access all the non-private members except constructors, destructors, overloaded operators, and friend functions. Okay, so we should be clear while making specifiers, because suppose you want to use void tell somewhere in class B, but you have specified it as private, so you cannot access it. So while using specifiers, you should be sure about what type of specifier should be used. Suppose you want to make a function that can be accessed by all other class, so you should always make it public. Okay, so it is preferred that all the methods are made public, all the functions are made public, and all the integers, all the variables are made private, because if you are making some function, so that function is made because so that you can call it somewhere. Okay, so you have to make functions public or protected, then only you can use it. Okay, thank you.